Hey there, Bluefin Digital Team here, and we got our hands on the Gundam Universe figures, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about them that you asked us. And I think we'll just start out. This is the first wave, so Ken, why don't you introduce the first wave of Gundam Universe?
So the first wave of the Gundam Universe figures that we got is the Wing Gundam from Gundam Wing, the RX-8-2, which is the original Granddaddy Gundam, and the Unicorn Gundam from Gundam Unicorn.
Very nice. Now Ken's a figure guy. David, are you a model guy, figure guy?
I am hardcore model all the way. So it's hard to impress me with the figure, but these were able to do it right out of the box. I like the size. They're in between a high grade and a master grade, which is unique, which is good. Some of the designs have been parts of the designs have been updated, and the figures feel solid. They feel like they're worth the money. So right out of the box, I decided I'm gonna buy the whole first wave day one.
Nice. What about you, Anthony? Where do you fall on the figure model scale?
I am 50-50 when it comes to figures and hobby model kits. So I'm impressed with these, and for the price point that you get them for, I am really excited.
Nice. And the price point being $24.99. Pre-orders are going to go on Friday, March 1st, so check your local hobby stores, wherever you buy your model kits. So Ken, I think we have a couple RXs to compare it to, so you brought, which ones did you bring?
No, we got the Anime Robot Spirit RX-78.
And we also have the master grade, or one of the many master grades.
So I believe it's the 1.5
yeah,
RX.
It's the older
master
one.
grade, yeah, the older master grade.
I think Ken just
I just snapped it in half.
This one has seen some action, y'all.
It's been
around for a while.
So we got a ton of questions to compare, especially these two. So maybe Ken, you can kind of go over, what makes this better than the others, what's the big differences, and why, this is a better maybe entry level for some people.
So, I don't know if you can see it right off the camera from here, but the version anime has a very bluish tint to it, a very old animation color from there, while the Gundam Universe version has that much cleaner white look to it, as well as a much more updated design from there, so you end up getting a lot more detail off of this compared to the version anime Robot Spirits from that. Granted that it's also smaller, but also costs a lot more from there. The Gundam Universe, with its $25 price point, so you get it being a much more affordable figure to get, especially if you want to try to get into collecting, as well as it being bigger for man-child hands.
Now, David, since you're the model guy here, obviously, this big guy is going to have a little more articulation than the Gundam Universe, but were you impressed with how much articulation they were able to put into the model? And maybe you could expand on, the level of articulation that people can expect.
No, I was impressed with it. I'm able to do with the Gundam Universe what I would do with my model kit, but I do feel more secure with the figure as opposed to the model kit, because with the model kit, your plastic can get weaker. You might not have shaved off a nub enough on the inside of a joint somewhere, and then you have to take it all apart and redo it. But with the Gundam Universe, if your goal is to have a really cool looking Gundam that you can pose, it just out of the box, it just bam, done, pose.
So now, Anthony, do you think that the model people like David are going to go for this, or do you think this is more like an entry level into the people who love Gundam but just maybe don't have the time or the skill to do a model kit?
I think it's a little bit of both, just like me, both hobby and loving hobby, and then also loving collecting figures, action, whatever it is, because I know there's a lot of people out there that just don't have the time anymore to make model kits such as the RX Master Grade right here, and just want to find a small or large collectible figure that they can mess around with, just like the Gundam Universe right here. And for any of the hobbyists out there, it's cheap enough for you to customize the figure, whether it's panel lining, weathering, you name it.
Yeah, you can really experiment with it, because it's not like you have an expensive model that you're going to ruin if you mess up. You mess up, and for whatever reason you can't repair what you did, you're really only in it $25 plus your time. So
exactly.
For those hardcore customizers, put some lights in it.
Because there are some panels on this thing that I can't wait to
just
start, man.
get a great fine line pen, and
Yep. No, it's gonna be amazing.
So Ken, were you surprised at how much you liked this figure right out of the box?
I did. It threw me back to when we mentioned like what old toy stores way back when they had some of the old Mobile Suit Action figures. I felt like I felt like a kid again when I pulled the figures out. It had that very like tough heft to it from there. Definitely felt like I at least messed around with it and not feel like I'm gonna break something from there. Outside of the V-fin, but I think for the most part, for it being what it is, it's a good nostalgia trip from there.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We got these kits yesterday, and as soon as we got them, everyone flocked to our desks and was just like, "What's this? How can we do it?" And just everyone put it through their paces.
Right.
It fell on the floor a couple times probably. Nothing broke. You had mentioned the crown, the V. Dave, on a model, that's the fragile point too there, right?
Yeah, for a Gundam, and this is made out of metal, the V-fin is always going to be your most fragile point because it's the thinnest point. These, while obviously still sharing the thinness, the plastic is a little more flexible, so it's not going to shatter like many of my V-fins have on my model kits.
Right, yeah, these have been well played with over the last 24 hours, and no fatalities yet, so that's good. So you guys took to social media and you guys asked us a bunch of questions. We're at Bluefin Brands on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we asked for questions, and you guys did not disappoint. So we just talked about the durability and the fragility of the V-fin. So Anthony, other than the V-fin, what do you think? They're talking that these are going to be durable in the ads and stuff like that. Is this something that you think you could maybe even give to a child and stuff like that, and they could really put it to their paces like we used to when we were kids?
I think so. Definitely want to avoid the additional hands with children, just in case they want to swallow it for whatever reason, or the beam saber. But I think it's definitely an entry level figure for any age, really.
Awesome. All right, so Ken, maybe you can talk about the Wing Gundam. It does not transform, right? But you were able to.
You can kind of finagle it in a way. There's no connector for the shield to attach it to the back from there. But if you want to get creative with it, again, it's $25 figures. So
always a way.
Yeah, it's cheap enough for you to do it.
Yeah.
Something like that. So you can kind of futz your way into it.
Yeah.
And so, David, maybe you could talk. So, we kind of briefly talked about the scale. Do you know what scale it is? Because you said, what's the?
So the master grades are 1/100 scale. High grades are 144. The robot spirits look to be a little smaller than 144. So the universe is somewhere between a 144 and a 1/100. I don't know what the exact scale because it's not really on the box, but it's a good scale though. It's got shelf presence. You can see it from far away. I can see all the details on the RX-78's leg from this far away. So it's you'll like it. You'll be impressed with it. Trust me.
You'd probably be mistaken it for a model kit.
Yeah.
If anything.
Like if I took this away, and I just saw that, I would assume that's a model kit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
High praise. So Anthony, so this is wave 1. What does wave 2 have for us?
Wave 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the Banshee, the Barbados, and the Death Scythe.
Correct.
Very nice. All right, Ken. Now, will the price point ever change, or the different price points for the different figures? And what about, maybe you can comment on the accessories as well.
So from there, the price point is still going to be that $24.99, $25 price point from there. In regards to accessories, for the most part, they're all going to either have the same, if not very similar, accessory count from there.
Were you happy with the quality of the accessories?
Yes. At first, when I first saw the beam effects, I thought they were going to be very fragile, but they're actually really tough from there. I think on like a very weird day, I could probably get away with using those as chopsticks, maybe. But they're surprisingly very, very durable with that.
And people asked if they were translucent. No, the beam effects are not translucent. They're solid. A lot of people asked about additional figures. So David, maybe you can explain. If you want more figures, how can we get more figures?
Well, definitely reach out to us on social media. So that they can see that there's an outcry for more of these figures. We here at Bluefin, we're also fans, so we're also trying to work our way into getting the exact model that we want, like a Gustav Karl.
No,
if anyone,
ask Ray,
well,
please.
you know that's coming.
Nemo.
But But no, yeah, just reach out to us. If you see us at conventions, come up. Sometimes we have somebody from Tamashii who's at the convention. You might be able to, make that change. Be like, hey, I would like a Wing Zero custom.
And we'll take you right over to them and be like, tell this person.
Yeah.
This person's got the juice to do it.
Well, let's be civil about this stuff.
Yeah, please. If you're weird, I will remove you from the booth.
You gotta say please and thank you. There are formalities to be involved here. So David's our convention guy, so he's usually there working a model workshop. So make sure if you're at a convention, you say hi to Dave. Do you think these will be available at conventions?
So for us, we will have a few, just give people a taste, But you could go to your local stores. We'll have customers on the floor in other stores who will be there at conventions, and they'll have them there. We'll only have a few though. So if you happen to be at our booth to get an exclusive and you see it, pick it up.
So, serious question. This is probably the most important question we got. Can you do sassy poses with these guys? How sassy can you get?
Oh, that's a challenge accepted, right?
Let's go. Maybe.
All right. Well, while Ken tries to sass it up, maybe you can take the unicorn over there, and some people just kind of want to see how the joints are working and stuff like that. So maybe just play with it a little bit.
Okay.
Talked about the sassy pose. We're trying to get sassy. Let's see. And maybe you guys could use your model kits, and you guys could put sassy poses and show us what you're looking for when you say sassy poses, and just tag us, at Bluefin Brands.
As sassy as you want them to be.
That is pretty sassy there. So that's the benchmark to beat. That is the sassy one there. So so I mean that's really all the questions we had. We had a lot of questions about price point. We had a lot of questions about where can we get it. So I guess maybe final thoughts. I was really impressed with the figures. I'm kind of new to the model building. I'm more a figure guy, so these are right up my alley. I'll definitely have these on my desk at work, and hopefully show other people. Maybe put it in a sassy pose like that. So let's go this way. So Ken, what are your final thoughts, and are you going to pick these up?
Yes and yes. No, it's a really great line to be able to start collecting from there. Because I know for me, being a figure guy and trying to collect the Robot Spirits version of the wing suits was actually a very big challenge, and is still a challenge from there. But I think with this entry, it's going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be a lot cheaper, and it'll be a lot more accessible just to be able to collect that bit of childhood from there.
Nice. What about you, Anthony? Were you impressed with these? Are you going to pick them up? Any suggestions?
I'm super impressed with these, and I'm a huge RX fan, so I'm definitely going to pick up the RX 78-2. Wing Gundam Unicorn, possibly not, but knowing that there are going to be other figures down the line, and a few that I'm really anticipating for is good to know, and that Tamashii has put a lot of thought into it.
Nice. And the hardest sell in the room, the model kit guy.
I was impressed with these. I liked they redesigned some of the weapons on these. The beam sabers are more of a rectangular shape, which is easier for them to hold, which is pretty cool. The RX-78's beam rifle has been altered in a way that I think is pretty cool looking. It's been updated. So because of that and the fact that I can get the entire wave for $75, I mean, I've spent more on model kits than that. So I can just go and just drop the money, just get the whole wave. So I'm definitely getting it.
Awesome. And we want to hear from you guys. We want to know if you guys are going to pick it up. Also, what kind of content do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see us, model tutorials? Do you want to see, customized tutorials? Do you want to see just us playing around with these figures? We'd love to just do that all day, every day.
Yes.
So, follow us on social media at Bluefin Brands all across the board. And, that's it from the digital team at Bluefin. So,
see you guys.
Thank you.
Toys! Oh my god!